This is Real Estate in Edmonton, helping you navigate buying, selling, investing, and living in Edmonton. Hosted by Realtor Devin Gray and professional broadcaster Tracie Gray.
Welcome to Real Estate in Edmonton, where we talk real estate and real life. This is Devin Gray with eXp Realty and the Moger Realty Group. And Tracie is on location with Wayne Fabing from Fabing Design Build and design expert Tricia Fermeniak. They're at a great rental property in West Edmonton that is in dire need of sprucing up, or zhuzhing, as Tracie likes to put it. Last week, we talked about some great renovation ideas to increase value, attract better tenants, and overall increase the appeal of the house. We wrapped up part one just as they were heading inside the home. This week, Tracie, Tricia, and Wayne will look at the most important parts of the house inside, the kitchen, the bathrooms, also the bedrooms, and they'll also take a look at the backyard. Whether you're an investor, a homeowner, or looking to sell, there's plenty of great advice in this one. Let's jump back in.
Okay, let's head on into the kitchen. Okay, so we don't want to be repainting the floors in there. You're talking about LVP instead, just makes it a lot easier, more durable. But what about tile? Can you paint tile?
Generally, it's a bad idea, but you can do it if you have a good painter. You've just used a really good primer, and it's not on the floor. So I've asked my painters today. We were talking about it, and 6 years for commercial use on floors. If these guys paint the floors, is what they would say how it would last. If it's wall tiles, you're looking at double. So you still get 10, 12 years if it's wall tile.
For wall tile.
Yeah. The worst part's the grout. So you may need to update the grout as you go.
Mm-hmm.
But
and then you said definitely not on floors because
just more wear and tear. Yeah, it won't last
little
as long.
wear out.
But 6 years is what my guys will back it up by.
Okay.
For painted tiles.
Well, that's good to know. So it's an option.
It's an option.
It's a more affordable option than putting flooring all the way throughout.
Pennies on the dollar.
I can see Tricia's face. It's paining her just even talking about it. So I'll get you to hand her the microphone. Tricia, let's get your thoughts on this kitchen and the floor.
Okay, so in general, I am a huge fan of intermediate measures that make your space so much happier. Or like if your floor tile's really bossing you around and you hate the color, and it's like I would do it. Like if that's what was in my budget and what I could do, I would do it. Even a floor, but definitely a wall tile because like you're saying, you get quite a long use out of a wall tile that's painted. However, caveats. Well, first of all, my opinion is we should run the same nice fresh light LVP throughout the whole space. But for a rental property, I think that could be kind of problematic. You don't know how hard people are going to be on things, but also if you have dogs, pets, claws, are going to make quick work of your paint job on your floor. And I do have that problem. So I would run a really beautiful LVP in here and throughout the whole space, because then it's going to make it look dramatically more updated, newer, fresher. Yeah.
Okay. And what else would you do to make this kitchen pop?
It would be really fun to paint the cabinets a pretty color because they are quite dark. However, if you don't want the maintenance of chipping and stuff, if you had a nice light LVP on the floor to contrast them, they're really not bad in the dark wood. The darker woods, like I said, are coming back. So I would put in a white countertop, the backsplash tile isn't even bad, but you're going to damage it putting in a new countertop. So I would just put in a fresh white countertop and backsplash that looks fresh and new here that will make these espresso cabinets look really, really fresh,
I like the color of the espresso, but like you said, when it's combined with other dark things, it does make it too dark, especially in a smaller kitchen.
Yeah.
Dark colors make it look smaller too.
I would never have chosen this espresso in the first place for a small galley kitchen that doesn't have a window right in it. But given that you've got it and you're trying to do a rental property situation, you can get quite a bit of freshness out of a light floor and a light countertop and a light backsplash by contrast, and not have the chipping of a paint job. Now, a paint job on cabinets, and Wayne could probably speak to this, can last a while, but I'll give this back.
Yeah, pretty hard wearing. We can do a professional level, reface magic type thing with, a clear coat, 3 or 4 layers of an enamel, and just a really, really strong multi-layered, lots of layers on the paint, and a protective coating. yeah, we do it all the time, and it seems to last. People like it, and it's a lot cheaper than a whole new, kitchen. Kitchen cabinets are expensive.
What about the handles? What about the hardware? Do you think those would need to be replaced?
I have opinions about hardware. Do you want to hear what my
Yes.
opinions are about hardware?
Yes, I would love to hear your opinion.
I think it's absolutely fantastic if you're not replacing the faces of these cabinets, okay? Because like the raised panel style is a little dated. I mean, a flat slab or something, else would look a little more updated if you wanted to go the extra mile, like Wayne says, and then paint, the kitchen. But if you are just keeping these cabinets as is or painting them, it's absolutely perfect that they have little knobs and not those big chunky square handles.
Yeah.
With 2 holes that look like they all just came out of a grab bag of black handles.
You can buy those in bulk at Home Depot.
Yeah. I can't stand the look at those. They, definitely little knobs look way more elegant and classic. These ones are a little clunky. They're a little big. I mean, I would probably replace them with smaller ball knobs myself just for a slightly more refined look. But I think little round knobs are perfect.
Well, and I have a funny story about the ones that you're talking about where it's got the 2 connectors that go into it, the ones that then also have the little pieces that stick up and below it.
Oh, yeah. And your belt loop gets...
Yes. My brother calls those the got your pants ones. He installed them in his house and we were visiting and he said, oh, just watch out for my kitchen. They've got the got your pants handles. And I'm like, what are you talking? Oh, and then it caught me like 3 or 4 times it pulled my pants down. So
yeah, and they also look really harsh and linear. Like one of the things to keep in mind about any built environment is most of the lines are lines, most of the corners are squares and rectangles. So when you have an opportunity to introduce a visual detail that isn't square or linear, take it. Get the round coffee table and the round knobs, you know what I mean, and the round light fixture instead of more lines.
Right. Yeah. Oh, that sounds really good.
Yeah.
And what about appliances then? So I'll get both of your opinions on, these are white appliances in good condition. What are your thoughts about needing to replace them with more of a modern looking one? What do you guys think?
I would do it.
Guys like
especially
their
with
appliances though.
Yeah, with the eye to bring in different renters, get more popping on the pictures. Definitely the appliances will do that. Maybe black stainless steel or stainless steel. I know those 2 are popular. Trish has
I love this
an
behind the
opinion.
scenes. Yeah, Trish is shaking her head right now. She's like, no.
No, I would never put I would never put a black appliance or a black stainless steel appliance. They're super trendy. I would never put them in any kitchen unless it was like a black kitchen and you're doing a cocktail bar because they look like someone knocked the teeth out of the kitchen. Like they're so harsh and heavy. And your eye just goes clunk right to them and they ruin kind of the coherence of a nice soft look in the kitchen. You're going to do a white countertop in here and a white backsplash, and so the white appliances are perfect. Here's my other opinion about these appliances. They're so simple. They don't break down in 2 years.
Right.
In my bungalow kitchen, I went out of my way to replace the white appliances when I needed to, when something broke down, because I really like the fresh white. It doesn't interfere with any kind of color you want to add. I think stainless steel can look a little bit too sleek in a small, cozy, humble kitchen. But if but my second choice would be just regular stainless steel. It looks a little industrial, right? And I would make a galley kitchen like this cozy, like charming. Yeah. But if you really wanted, you could do just regular stainless. It's a little softer. Yeah. But not a fan of the black. Sorry, bud.
It's more of a guy thing, I think.
Maybe.
Paint it black.
Never black
Macho,
appliances.
cool.
Yeah.
Or red like Iron Man.
Yeah. I'd rather have a red one. I'd rather have a red one. Yeah.
I would totally have that. Yeah. All right, great. Well, how about we move on to the bathroom?
Sure, sounds good. I just have one thing a topic to bring up. Doubling up this use of space. I'm not sure what you think about a charging station somewhere in here. Renters, there's a couple of colleges close by. I know we're putting in a lot of these. Everyone's asking for charging stations. Like we're doing 3 in one guy's condo right now.
Yeah.
Just wherever they go, they want their phones.
Yeah.
But also to sit down quickly with a shelf and hammer out a essay or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that would fit for the, modern high-tech
Yeah.
renter.
We
but
always need more plugins for
yeah,
all our electronics. Yeah.
What are you doing mostly? Are you doing them inside of shelves or drawers, or are they kind of like right out in the open? Because that feels to me like something I'd want to tuck away in a drawer or a cupboard, and not have it be in sightly wires everywhere.
right.
What are you doing with that?
Well, the condo downtown, we're putting in a teal vanity, not a vanity, it's the wrong word, but a cupboard, right? And in the cupboard, we're wiring it to charge everything. So they'll open this beautiful antique looking cupboard, but it's going to charge the phones, the iPods, earbuds, and a laptop all in one, and then just tuck it away. And there's space for letters. It's sort of like a post office thing, but it's all tech. It's all charged up. Other ideas are like if there's stone throughout the house, we'll just get a small piece of stone, have a small shelf, but have that charging station built in there as well. A really easy, inexpensive update is swapping out your plugs with USB-C, USB plugs. It's about $50.
Yeah, because they've
about
got
an
the
hour.
ones that come with all of those connectors in one.
Exactly.
That's a
Really
great
super
idea.
popular with young renters.
Okay. And would you just say to have one or two around the house, or would you put them in all of them? How many would you recommend?
Well, I'd ask the client, and usually it's a bedroom wherever they like to watch the Oiler games, and then the kitchen. So typically it's an island,
Yeah.
and then the easy chair, and then the bedroom. So
Okay. Well, on that note, let's go check out the bedroom.
okay.
All right. So for the bedrooms, what would you do?
I mean, there's not a lot you can do in a bedroom. You've got to, you need some space. Looks like you've got some decent closet space, which is really nice in a bedroom. But I think just like the updated floor that I'm angling for.
Get rid of those dark floors.
To brighten it up.
I think you're trying to say to get rid of the dark floors.
Yeah, I think it would make a huge difference in the feel of these rooms. These bungalows have cozy, smaller bedrooms. So laying them out is always a little bit of a challenge. So the built-in storage of the closets, I think, is brilliant. And other than that, fresh paint, nice floors.
I love that. Okay. On a contractor side, what do you think?
Not a heck of a lot, really. The built-ins in the closet would be great, but also you got some space on these corners, the small wall. For not a lot of money, we could have a very petite built-in here. A foot and a half, 14 inches or 15 inches. Just cupboards to spruce up the place.
Another charging station, perhaps?
Charging station inside, yeah. Update the plug.
Okay. Well, it sounds really simple. And I love that. I love it when things are simple.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll go check out the bathroom now. Okay. So we're not all going to pile into the bathroom. So we will just let our camera guy take over and take a little look around the bathroom. While he is doing that, Tricia, I'm going to get your opinions on what you would do to fix up this bathroom, really spruce it up.
Yeah, I mean, it's a decent little bathroom. So once we have new floors, whether that's the LVP or this would be the one room where I would consider switching to a tile, like a tile mosaic floor, so you get a little texture and traction, But you could absolutely run the LVP in here, nice fresh LVP. The nice compact vanity is all right. I would just retile or paint the wall tile. Yeah, but repaint or retiling the walls would be really pretty. Just like a nice cream or warm off-white kind of simple tile, so that because the best thing to do in here would be to paint the walls and ceiling above a pretty color, give it a little personality. So you could also do like a fun little wainscoting. I kind of like the way that they ran the tile up to this height all the way around this room. It looks, the concept, it's not the right tile, but the concept looks kind of finished. The way that it matches up with the tub surround is kind of clever.
Yeah, I like that too.
If you're keeping the tub surround, I mean, you could definitely just, those molded tub surrounds, they're kind of easy to maintain, but they're not the prettiest.
Right. Yeah. And they can crack when they get older or yellow.
Yeah. So one of my favorite strategies right now, because we're all kind of tired of brick-lay subway tile, but it is really versatile and timeless because it's so flexible for decorating with color and stuff. So one of my favorite moves right now is just to switch it up and do like a vertical stack or a Kit Kat style, like a skinnier one that's kind of on a vertical stack. just looks a little fresher, more current, but it still has all the versatile attributes and, of just simple white subway tile,
Okay, so you still take the rectangular subway tile, but you lay
turn
it
it
vertically
vertically. I
instead of
might pick a
horizontally.
slightly longer, skinny one and turn it vertically so that it just, it has,
Yeah.
it's just elongating and it's just a pretty texture and it looks a little bit like, oh, okay, it's subway tile, but better.
I like the Kit Kat style
Yeah.
way of describing it.
For this bathroom, what pattern would you use vertically? 50-50 or stack?
Like a grid stack, I think. Yeah, just like line them all up in a grid stack on the vertical. And if they're a little skinnier, like a 2-inch 2x9 or something, that would be really pretty. It
Probably
just
good size for this.
yeah. And then because you already have this kind of idea of taking it vertically up to like a sort of a high wainscoting, which is sort of sweet, that would be really nice. You can even do like a finishing pencil on the top to make it really look like
Yeah. Now I've seen those mirrors with the lights in them too, and those look really popular. What are your thoughts on those?
I'm gonna give you a guess what I think about this.
Well, I was going to say I thought you would like them, but you kind of gave me the side eye there.
I'm not a fan of the lit mirrors, and I'll tell you why.
Wayne, I saw her side eye just now.
I've had a couple of clients ask for them and then show Trish, and then she's like, "No, we're not doing that."
Okay.
I get stuck in the middle. I just install it. It's easier to install a normal mirror.
Well, I have reasons. Okay, it is a little bit subjective because I think they look a little bit like a UFO launch site, and they're kind of blinding. And I'm not a fan of the glowing LED strips behind things. I think it looks commercial and not very cozy and livable.
Wow. Okay.
Also, you can't usually control the temperature of those things, so you're turning on your bathroom light at midnight, and it's like you're hit with this blue
light.
Yeah.
So bam.
So the other reason that I really am not a fan is because I'm a huge fan of decorative lighting. And that is because in a space like a bathroom where everything's tile and toilet, there's not a lot of opportunity for pretty detail. So that light fixture and the choice of mirror and that combination becomes everything.
Okay.
For the bathroom. So.
Yeah, I love that. I'm going to hand this to Wayne quickly. Also, toilet. So the one that is in this house, it's okay. It's actually had a couple of nicks out of it that have been patchwork together. The handle on it's starting to yellow, but overall, it's kind of a cute little toilet. What are your thoughts? What would you do? Would you want to fully replace this? Can you change out the top and handle on it? What are your thoughts?
Always the whole toilet. Never
Don't
the
piecemeal a toilet.
Yeah, in my house, no problem, but clients, swap the whole toilet.
Swap it
less headaches later down the line. We are putting in a lot of bidets these days. So with the bidet, you got to budget about $1,200 just for the bidet, and then your electrician has to put in a plug to plug the bidet in. So it's about $1,500, $2,000 if you do it on your own.
Wow.
And they're popular, I guess.
That's a fancy side to Wayne that I didn't know about. So put in a bidet. All right. I think that wraps it up for inside the house. We'll leave it on the bidet note, unless you had something else you wanted to throw in there.
No, not at all.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Our cameraman's running out of things to film. Looking. So now that we're out in the yard, what would you do design-wise and then also contractor-wise?
Yeah, so I mean, I think this yard has a pretty nice layout already. I like the enclosure that the the evergreens. So these trees pass the test, I think, mostly if they're healthy, because they do create a nice little moment back here and some privacy from the neighbors, which you want in the yard. I like that little inviting spot. There's some potential there. And then I would just fix up some of the edging beds. I mean, scrape them down probably and put some new topsoil and put some really good ground cover that's like super low maintenance and no weeds can get through. I think it's a really charming backyard. Some of these beds just need a bit of an overhaul from a gardener's perspective, I have to say. What do you think, Wayne?
For me, foundation preservation, I'd add downspouts on the one corner of the roof, and just build it out to the fence, put in a post, and just make sure it gets out of the way so the water's running where it should. Other than that, I like the yard. Just The front, I would recommend, adding a load of dirt back here as well. It's ineffective. It's erosion gets everything flowing away from your property. So a little bit of dirt, beef up the house, keep water going away from the
on
house.
the lawn, and keep the
Yeah, keep the grade good.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
grade.
Yeah.
It's a little sunken,
pretty good.
which is,
Yeah, it sort of
happens over
slows down.
time. Yeah.
Over 20 years, you'll have like more problems where the yard dips into the middle if it's a sag like that.
Mhm.
So a little bit of dirt will just get the water off your backyard smoothly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Great.
One thing you could do is build out that back porch into a little bit of a deck zone here, so you've actually got room up close to the door for like the barbecue and stuff. That would be kind of nice, and just a nice place to sit and get the sun. But I mean,
Mhm.
and then you don't have this bed, to deal with.
Yeah, it'd be a little challenging. There's a lot going on here.
Right, because of
but,
all the
you-
utilities.
You could definitely get a 12-foot deck without a lot of change, but you got that
Yeah.
the gas meter there.
Yeah, you got to have
So
access to that.
you could work with it though. That could be a storage. We could frame that into a storage cabinet with
Okay,
like
for the
block it out.
utilities.
Yeah, like you have to check it, but you need access to it. But we could just sort of work it into the framing of the deck, so it's not like an eyesore because you can't move it.
The other thing you can do is you can treat this as a hedging moment, and you can get some nice looking 5-foot max kind of plants, like maybe 3 Korean lilacs, for example, where you can still access that thing, but visually, you've got sort of a nice hedging plant that's just kind of filling most of this space and hiding that. It just also creates a really nice transition between the foundation and the yard to have actual like structured foundation plantings,
Yeah.
instead of like, because you can see how just the plants look kind of messy against the base of the house, but if you have something structured, it makes a big difference.
It's almost like creating a little oasis back here and kind of hiding the stuff that you
Yeah.
don't want to see.
Yeah, most people, when it comes to garden design, miss out on a foundation planting. They're putting little random shrubs or little random plants along the base of the house. But you want something actually that looks really solid and structured. Like in much nicer climates, you can do boxwoods and all kinds of pretty evergreen hedges along the bottom of the house, and it looks so lovely. And none of that stuff works here. But there are things,
Okay.
that are, that you
Yeah,
could do.
I love all those ideas. Yeah, that's
Ooh.
fantastic. All right. Well, we are going to wrap it up there. Thank you so much, Tricia, for
Thank
coming
you.
by and
It's
all
been
your
fun.
amazing design
Yeah.
ideas. Thank you, Wayne.
You're very welcome. It was a pleasure to be here, Tracy.
Great. Yeah, I love all of the ideas, and I love the behind the scenes stuff too. That's my favorite. Thanks so much for coming out. We're going to toss it back to you, Devin.
Thanks, Tracy. That was some great advice from Wayne and Tricia. It's always interesting to hear what professionals focus on when looking to get the most out of your renovation dollars. Whether you're renovating a rental property, preparing a home for sale, or just updating the place you live, hopefully today's episode gave you some ideas you can put to work right away. If you enjoyed today's episode, please like, subscribe, follow, share it, and all that wonderful stuff with someone who loves real estate, investing, or home improvement. Thanks for joining us on Real Estate in Edmonton, where we talk real estate and real life, and we will see you next time.